Do not open with that, for Christ's sake.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Kramzer here, back with you for another episode of our Songs of the Year series. And today we are hitting 2002, 20 years ago, the year I graduated high school. I think this was a better, maybe a little bit better year in the Hot 100. Not drastically better, but pretty good. Wildcards were decent. Solid year. How you guys feel?
Yeah, way better on the Billboard charts. I don't know what Kramzer's shaking his head for. There's actual good rock and roll music on the charts this year. It's incredible. It hasn't happened in decades. And the R&B and the rap stuff is pretty solid as well. So I actually had a lot of songs, even that charted, that just couldn't fit on there.
Jason graduated? I don't know. I'm not seeing what you guys seeing. Maybe it's just an error on my part. Unless you've got every audio slave track there is known to man. I don't know what you're really talking about here, but I will agree. Decent like R&B and hip hop hits on the charts around this era. So deep cuts, plentiful. Turn on the Bright Lights, one album of the year for me. It's my third favorite album of all time. So spoiler alert, here it comes. Joe just got over his illness and now it might be coming back. So it's still there. Oh, I'm so sorry, my friend. Damn. All right. Well, who's starting it off now?
I think it's Jason's turn since he went last time. So let's see what he got here.
First one, a band I know Joe likes, probably will have it on his list. I've got Hate to Say I Told You So by the Hives. Good rock and roll, kind of brash and angsty, but it still retains that feeling of fun, which is sorely missing from all of the other rock genres at the time. The new metal and stuff is severely lacking in fun, and this brings a little bit of that back to the charts. My next pick, Pearl Jam. Every time they put out an album, they have one single that seems to chart. This time it's I Am Mine, which is a really unusual song for a charting single. It's in 3/4 time, has this swaying feel. It's almost like a sea chanty where you're rocking back and forth on the waves. It's kind of how it feels, but it's got a really nice chorus, kind of a pretty melody to it. Number 3, I got the Goo Goo Dolls with Here Is Gone, which is kind of like one of their last hits, really. They've had a few songs that have charted since then, I think, but this is the last one that maybe people might remember. I think it's a decent pop song. It's in open tuning, and it's got this kind of cool sliding guitar part. I think it's as good as any of their previous hits, if not a little better even. So going with that one. Then I've got Don't Know Why by Norah Jones, the antithesis of everything else that was on the charts at the time, but I think it's undeniable. Just effortless vocal performance. Incredibly well recorded. Her piano playing is excellent. I think she's a really underrated musician. And then the last one for me is from a record that came out in 2001, but this song charted in 2002. They had a bigger hit the same year, but I like this one a little better. I've got The Sweetness by Jimmy Eat World. I think the middle was the bigger hit, but I always loved this track. I thought it was way cooler. I love the way it has the back and forth between the vocals where almost everything drops out except the one guitar. And then after the vocals, the band comes in full force and it kind of goes back and forth. So there's this cool push and pull during the verses. The chorus is great. I just think it's a really catchy tune. So there you go. Those are my Hot 100 picks.
I was going to say, those are your wild card picks. We got either a really good Billboard year or a weak year for Jason's record favorites here. I share a decent amount with you. I've got The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Awesome. It is the more well-known song. It's incredibly catchy. I know we've done that video about genres that don't stand a chance with me, and Jimmy Eat World in that kind of pop punk arena kind of to me is an outlier. They're not quite as into that genre as other people are, and I just think they're much better than everyone else. which is why I also have The Sweetness on here. So 2 Jimmy Eat World songs here. The Sweetness was awesome. They were in the soundtrack for like NHL 03 or something back in the day that me and Joe used to play a lot, and it was just banging. And Jason described it perfectly. The way it's just like kind of the call and response with just like that hard push by the band, and then he cuts off, and he's actually got a really good voice. I've also got Little Things by India.arie. I don't think that's even someone who's been mentioned on the channel before, but I think she's a very good artist. This isn't even one of her better songs, but it charted, and to me, this is a weak year. I think it's got a great beat, great bass, love her voice, and, it's just something you can always listen to and be impressed with. I've also got 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. Totally deserving. It's incredibly girly, but it is really well done. It's pretty. It's not over the top affectionate. It's just really delicate. It's really nice. The piano rules. There's a ton of great moments in it, a ton of great hooks. And then finally, I'm going with Lose Yourself by Eminem. The only thing I've got against this track is it beats Hands That Built America by U2 for Best Song at the Oscars from Gangs of New York, which should have won, but this song is a juggernaut. It's probably my favorite Eminem song, and I'm not even a huge Eminem guy, but it's got just great attitude behind it, great drama. The rapping is great, and it's got that just awesome hook to it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid list of Billboard songs right there. I didn't get either the Jimmy Eat World on mine, even though I think they're both great. That's how good this year is. For me, number 5, I got Hate to Say I Told You So. So there's me and Jason, little kismet there. The record actually came out in 2000, but with the whole garage rock revival, this one got re-released and kind of blew up the charts more so than did any of the Strokes songs ever chart. I don't even know. Somehow this one did. But I just think it's so much fun. Love the energy. Love the sound. This whole album is fantastic. Number 4, I think this might be the first time I've had a song on my lists twice, different artists. First time, 1989. This time, it's 2002, and Maxwell's This Woman's Work, cover of the Kate Bush song, which I knew this song since then, loved it, never explored Kate Bush's discography somehow. But Maxwell just owns this. Not quite as good as Kate did, let's be honest. But his voice is amazing. He hits all those high notes, and the arrangement on his song actually expands and adds stuff with some like lap steel and some strings on there. So it kind of turns it into his own, which is really cool. Love his version here, and his live version is awesome as well. I also got Lose Yourself by Eminem. Just such a great rap song, so motivational. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti, I think, is a great line. Only Eminem could work that into a rap song and like still sound cool. Also on my list, gotta go with a little Queens of the Stone Age here. No One Knows, jackhammer riff. It's evil, paranoid, just all that is good in rock and roll. Love this album. Really kind of surprised this charted because it's pretty heavy for a charting song, but I'm going to take it all the way to the bank. Number 1, though, is going to be a little Justin Timberlake. I got Crimea River. I love Timbaland. I think his production is amazing. This begins really the Timbaland era of pop and rap and hip hop production, and just so cool, unique, instantly recognizable. And Justin Timberlake comes out, from NSYNC, his own man with, I remember hearing this. I hated NSYNC at the time because, I was trying to be cool and everything. But then I heard Crimea River and I was like, well, maybe this Justin Timberlake is onto something. That is a great song. And my number 1 Billboard hit for 2002.
Right. Joe going on and on about how many good rock songs there are, and he only picked 2 rock songs. All right.
I leave them all off. That's the whole thing. I left off the System of a Down, the Jimmy Eat Worlds, I Am Mine. I love I Am Mine by Pearl Jam. Zephyr song, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Couldn't put them on.
All right, here we go. My wild cards. First one, just an old favorite of mine. Still putting out good songs in 2002. I've got Tom Petty with Have Love Will Travel from The Last DJ. That record, I think, is a pretty significant drop in quality from his previous LPs, but I think there's still a few incredible tunes on it. And this is one of them, among his best songs ever, I think. A great Mike Campbell guitar work on this. I love the lead that like climbs up in the pre-chorus, great jangly tone in the guitar solo. And then there's all this amazing organ work from Benmont Tench in the verse coming out of the solo. Really good. I think it's a great song, and it's just elevated even more by the great band. Then I've got Supergrass with Run. How they developed their sound over the course of a few albums was just so amazing. This one's all like spacey synths and atmosphere. Gaz's voice sounds incredible on it. I don't know, it's almost like Pink Floydian almost. I love the acoustic guitar comes in, and then that solo with that fuzz tone is just so killer. Supergrass just can do no wrong in my book. Then I've got a track from an album that I could really have picked almost any track from this. I love the entire record, but I'm going to go with Pot Kettle Black from Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. I like it because at its core, I think it's very simple, but the arrangement and the approach to the recording and the mixing are so counterintuitive to what most people would do with this song, but it's so perfect that you wouldn't want it any other way. I just think it's a really creative approach and really catchy tune as well. Then I'm going with Lost Cause by Beck from Sea Change, a song that's just so simple, so direct, really beautiful, unadorned. It's almost startling coming from someone like Beck after all the other stuff he had done to hear him so like bare, and his pain and sadness is just palpable. I think he gives a great vocal performance. I think the production from Nigel Godrich is amazing on this track and on that whole record. So yeah, there you go. Saving my winner for the end. What do you guys got?
Other than the Tom Petty cut there, I think that was a pretty cool classic Jason Reese kind of lineup there, especially for 2002. I think I could have predicted a lot of those, but I just didn't have the time to think about it. Anyway, I've got, like I said, a lot from Turn On the Bright Lights, but not from that album. Not Tom Petty, but my old man pick here is going to be from The Rising, Paradise. Toward the end of the album, a really dark, moody song. Brendan O'Brien produced this album, but this song particularly sounds like it could have been like Daniel Lanois. Like, it's really atmospheric. It's really like luminescent and everything. Just saturates you with all these like really like guitar swells and kind of synth things, and gives you this twilight kind of atmosphere, which is really cool. Then by Ryan Adams, who I think I've had a song from him every year so far in the 2000s, which will probably be a trend that continues. I've got She Wants to Play Hearts. Absolutely beautiful song from Demolition. Fantastic. It's got terrific lyrics when he's talking about like being treated like a rag doll, and she only plays with me when it's raining outside. The recording of the acoustic guitar is really brilliant. It sounds like you can just hear the hum from the recording. You're picking up all these little static twitches and everything, and he just sings it great. He's such an underrated vocalist, especially when he does like that deep kind of lonesome singer-songwriter thing. Fantastic. And then a pair from Turn On the Bright Lights. I've got Stella Was a Diver and She's Always Down. Absolutely fantastic. It's got really a good pulse to it. My favorite thing about it is at the end when it just starts getting into this like hypnotic little guitar part with this cool little just like bass and like tambourine hit back and forth, and you lose yourself in it. And then finally, I've got Leif Erikson, the closing track from Turn On the Bright Lights. One of my favorite pieces of lyrics ever, when he says, she feels that my sentimental side should be held with kids' gloves, but she doesn't know my urge was left in the icebox. Everything with just the imagery and everything. It's just got that steady kind of pounce to it. Everything's stinging and biting, but is really cool and icy at the same time. It's like incredibly masculine, but just really steady. It's very badass for me. I love it. Just missing was Obstacle 1. Had to cut that, but let's see what Joe's got. Joe just swatted some flies.
Yeah. some really annoying flies. I like to call them Interpol. My top 5, kicking it off with little Weezer. Go with Take Control from Maladroit. They went back to basics on this album, and I think it totally works. Their last really good album. I don't know if it's great, but it's very good, very listenable. Every song on there just built around these great riffs. Like it kind of takes the pressure off Rivers to make up some, lame, too cute lyric and just concentrates on the guitar. That's what it should be. Like Take Control a lot, but there's plenty of good songs on there. Number 4, I'm going to go with There Goes the Fear from Doves. Anthemic, post-Britpop. Mines so many beautiful musical elements and melodies. Big 6-minute epic track. Really love the way it changes seamlessly between like triumphant and tragic. And Jez Williams is just so great at finding that space. One line he's upbeat, one line is kind of depressing, and it just mines both so well. Always a tinge of sadness in his lyrics, but that's Britpop, post Britpop for you. Number 3, I got Time Consumer from Coheed and Cambria. You'll be seeing them a lot. So get used to it. I don't care what you people say. This album, their first, real raw, very like emo-y, but there's this interesting mix of prog and punk on it as well. And this one has a really sick guitar solo from Bad Brains guitarist Dr. No, which is pretty cool. It's very like Alex Lifeson. It's really cool, actually. Number 2, we go with Little Silverchair. Came back with Diorama, which is a really cool album that, they kind of got away from being Nirvana wannabes and decided to do their own thing. They bring in Van Dyke Parks to do some orchestral parts, and they're just really cool, really unique sounding stuff. Great vocal work, powerful, soulful stuff from Daniel Johns on this, and great orchestral arrangement from Van Dyke Parks on this, and a couple other songs, but I think that's my favorite. Winner, we'll find out soon after Worst Songs of the Year. Woo! Good one to pick from this year. We might have a trifecta.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm going with Skater Boy from Avril Lavigne. I just think it is the worst, laziest songwriting I've ever heard. He was a boy, she was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? Yeah, you could like try to giving some details and make some sort of an effort to tell a compelling story. Like, it's just really lazy writing. Then there's the other part where like she comes across as like someone's mom talking about punks, like trying to figure out the labels that kids are using for different cliques these days. She's like, he wears baggy clothes, so he was a punk. Like it's just so corny. I hate it. Then in the chorus, she rhymes boy with boy and face and space. The rhymes are just so simplistic. The hooks are really pedestrian to begin with. So like the atrocious writing on top of that just kills it. I think it's a terrible song.
I don't have much of a problem with that track. And in this year, you had plenty worse to choose from. I'm going to change it up here. I'm going to do something we've never done on the channel before. I am literally deadlocked between 2 songs, so I want you guys to help me out with which one is worse. I've got She Hates Me by Puddle of Mud versus Your Body is a Wonderland by John Mayer. What do you guys think? And Joe, we know you love John Mayer.
Your Body is a Wonderland is 100 times worse.
I'd probably go with She Hates Me, slightly worse. Both bad. I don't like Your Body is a Wonderland.
Well, that does me no favors whatsoever. I think I will lean toward John Mayer. I think I'm with Jason, but they are both just awful. The way he says the word body, it's just like, it's the stairway to heaven of just douche college dude trying to get in someone's pants acoustic rock. Like it's just terrible. So, but She Hates Me is really bad. It's just one of the most ugliest, unattractive songs I've ever heard in my life. Like there's not one note on there where I'm just like, oh God, like so bad. But I'll give it to John Mayer officially, I suppose.
All right, well, I was way off and predicting a three-peat. Did you guys just miss this one? You don't care? We basically talked about it for 3 weeks straight. I think it would have won March Madness if we had let it. We flipped it though, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue from Toby Keith came out this year, and I can't imagine a song worse than that. Makes Skater Boy sound like, I don't know, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, anything. I mean, it's not even in the same universe. This song blows. We go back and watch all the videos where we talked about it. We quoted all the lyrics. It's just the worst type of patriotism. It sucks. It's a garbage song.
Well, good shout. That is probably the truest answer. The problem is when I look through the list of songs and I just see all these country artists that I just dislike. I'm just like, well, I'm not even on my radar right now. But I forgot we've got to choose the shit too.
All right, best of the year. I'm going with Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips. Such a simple and beautiful way of summing up what it is to be human, just marveling at how tiny and insignificant we all are as humans. And at the same time, it's really about gratitude and love for friends. He wrote the song when Stephen Draws was going through heroin withdrawals. And I don't know, it's just about understanding the miraculousness of getting to experience everything we get to experience as humans. I think it's a really cool song. And I don't know that I've ever heard a more succinct expression of those feelings. Tons of songs kind of explore those themes, but this just like hits it right on the head and just says it in so few words. And I think it's really beautiful and really cool.
It is a really good song about being human, but so is More Human Than Human by Rob Zombie. So probably one of those. Yeah, I think I had Yoshimi nominated for Album of the Year, but I couldn't get any Flaming Lips on there, so glad to hear about it. Joe, take a breath, man. I'm not going Interpol with my favorite song of the year. I am going with Silent Sigh by Badly Drawn Boy from the About a Boy soundtrack. Absolutely gorgeous song. Ties into the movie perfectly, but it's just got this killer piano part. I love his voice so much. It's got this like boyish childishness to it, but really like mature with the lyrics. It's, you know, the line where he's like, never stop living here till it eats the heart from your soul. It's really just like a decompressor of a song about people just kind of like overwhelmed with feelings and dreadful thoughts and everything. And it's what it really means to have empathy for someone. I feel like this song, it's like, hey, I'm in the hole with you. Let's do this together. We got this. It's really touching. And if you've never seen the movie, it's an absolutely fantastic film about a boy. But yeah, I think Badly Drawn Boy just absolutely nails those kind of feelings on this song of just like not having to feel alone when you're in like the darkest place you've ever been to. So I think it's really touching. It's got this really killer piano part and kind of this upbeat drum thing, which I think kind of spins everything in this cheerful light, which is really cool the way they do it. It's just an incredibly emotional, beautiful song, and it is my winner.
All right. I don't think I would be out of line by saying that Songs for the Deaf is the best rock album in the last 50 years. I think pretty much that's established. Even Kramzer and Jason agree completely. Yep, I'm talking. And my favorite track from that album has got to be Go With the Flow. Just such a cool sounding song. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's just like some kind of lap steel put through some type of speaker or with effects or something. But whatever it is, those like weird guitar sounds that just like flow up and down. Like it has to be a lap steel because I don't think a normal guitar could do that. Just such a unique, cool sounding, part to the song. I love the pounding beat, Dave Grohl on the drums. They have that like one key hammering all the time, just through the whole track, just doesn't change it. So it's got this great driving, forward pushing momentum. It sounds like you're on top of a speeding car. The the vocals, you got Josh Homme and Mark Lanigan going back and forth, the whispering in the background, all the stuff that makes Queens of the Stone Age great, all the paranoia and, you know, the sex and the drugs, and you're on an acid trip driving through the desert. Just all comes together in this song. It's perfect. I mean, I could pick any number of songs from that album, but that one, I always loved it a little bit more, I think, than the rest. It's very catchy. That weird guitar just rules. So that is going to be my winner. It's going to be tough. That's going to be a tight battle, I think, at the top. I was hoping Kramzer would pick some garbage indie rock song to take away some votes from Jason, but I think it's going to be another two-man race here.
I tried to interrupt you because I think you misspoke, but you shushed me. So put it on record. Joe thinks that is the best album since 1972. Forget Physical Graffiti, forget Dark Side of the Moon, forget everything else. Queens of the Stone Age, Songs from the Deaf is the best rock song since 72. There's no going back now. I tried to help you out. That is on the record. It's Queen of the Stone Age, and you have to live with that sentiment for the rest of your life now. I think Jason's the front runner this year.
Yeah, I might have added 40 years to my estimation there.
I mean, it's not even the best rock album of 2003 by a long shot, but
well, it's 2002, so I agree. Got you there.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know what you think of our picks. Drop whatever your thoughts are down in the comments. Leave your own list down there as well. If you haven't seen this series before, we keep a little competition going. You can follow a link in the video description to our website where you can vote for which of our winners is your favorite. We have a tally on the current score, Joe.
Last year, we had a win from Jason, New Slang by the Shins, took it home. Excellent song there. So that puts me at 20, Jason up to 16.5, Kramzer right behind with 13.5.
I knew I was going to come in third, but I was pleased I got more than like 3 votes. So that was kind of a personal win for me there. I mean, it's a great song.
All right, so head over there, place your vote, leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not yet done so. Do that before you leave and head over to the website to vote. Go Pens. Playoff game tonight as we're recording this. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.